Good afternoon. This will be a training division. We're going to talk about the 2.5 Blitz Line and how we're going to deploy it and load it. We noticed during 1410 drills lately that there are some issues with some of the newer trucks having shorter hose beds on how to load it properly. And then also because the way it was loaded, we weren't able to deploy it properly. So we're going to go over the new the proper way of loading it and deploying this load. Come on over here. So as you've noticed, it looks slightly different than you may have seen it lately. Lately, all these were tucked in here. Notice some of the guys had a hard time pulling it off. So proper way of load it is we were going to have multiple loops hanging down right from the beginning. You have two options here. Go ahead and pull the whole thing. Nozzle will come down with it, or you can take the nozzle out and then bring the whole thing down. As you see, we have 3 here. It went with 4 bends right here between the top loops which you'll grab and then the second loop which you'll grab, and then we have 4 more on the bottom. Firefighter Darius is going to go ahead and pull this, show you 2 different options on how to pull it. This option, he went ahead and just pulled the whole thing in one shot. And then brought the nozzle down to him. As you can see, he brought down 50-foot section right now, which he'll have with him right after when he goes to the door. He's now grabbing for that second loop, and he'll send the whole thing out. Line becomes taut, he drops the first loop. And now that second section is gone. He has that 50-foot section that he grabbed off at the door to be able to go through the home or wherever else he may need that 50-foot section of hose. We're going to talk about the Newman Load, especially it's a little bit different for these newer trucks. They have a shorter hose bed, so we're going to go things a little bit different than the other trucks. What we need to do is we want to be able to separate it and have it set up so you're 50 foot on your shoulder with that first pull from those first leaves. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop 4 flat. And as we're taking them to the back, Chief Rittenhouse is back there, and he's alternating of 1 long, 1 slightly shorter, then 1 long, 1 slightly shorter. Gives it a little more even look, sets itself a little nicer in the bed. All right, so we have our 4 flat here. Now Joe's gonna make 1 long leaf. This will be the second leaf or the second loop you grab after the initial setup. We're gonna go with another 4 flat again. And if you guys are sitting watching this, counting couplings, this truck is slightly different because it has 100-foot section hose lengths, which does not make a difference whether you have 50-foot section or 100-foot section. It's still going to work out the same way. All right, so now he's got the 4 flat. We went ahead and we marked this hose. So now when you start doing his loops here, he's going to have 50 foot coming up on your shoulder when you do your initial grab with the nozzle. As you notice, these are slightly shorter than the first one, but all will be pretty close to the same length each one together. Do a Dutchman. Dutchman. Darius, do a Dutchman in there.
Okay, I need to tail. That's good. Yeah, we're good.
All right, so once again, 4 flat, 1 long leaf or 1 long loop, 4 flat again, and then the rest of it will be a 50-foot section you'll have in longer loops or longer leaves just short of the first one all the way till you get to the nozzle. You may have to put a slight Dutchman in there to keep the nozzle at the top, but then it's right there for grabbing along with these 3 loops, the first 50 foot on your shoulder.